Nakamute ako. Yan. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So, today is Saturday again. I'm so excited for today kasi ang ganda ng topic natin. Lalo na para sa mga mommies, that tomorrow is a Mother's Day. I really hope that today's session will be a good session for you. Lalo na, di ba, sabi nga natin, pagiging mommy, kulang na kulang yung 24 hours. So, yan yung aalamin natin today. How can we manage our time and be more productive? Pero bago natin yan puntahan, I just want to know yung mga nanonood sa atin. We have, ang bilis, we have 20 viewers agad. All across YouTube, Six-Figure Ecom page, and Smart Mompreneur page, group. Yan. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Yes. Ayan, si Kat. Uy, Lodi, yan. Yan, si Celz. Yes. Oo, sobrang, galing. Kaya, I'm thankful that she said yes for today. Kasi I am sure she can give us tips, lalo na yung mga mommies, diba? And actually, not just mommies, but lahat ng mga humahataw araw-araw, or yung, alam mo yun, yung sobrang busy, diba? Nakulang yung 24 hours. So, yan. And yan, Lizelle. Hi, Lizelle. Happy Saturday. Thank you for always watching. Alam ko sobrang busy ka, but thank you for always dropping by and to watch our sessions. Yan. And to our Facebook user, good afternoon. Good afternoon po. And yan, yes, Happy Mother's Day. Bukas yan. So yun guys, hindi ko na patatagalin pa kasi alam ko sobrang excited na kayo and alam ko you've been wanting to know how can I really stretch yung time ko. A lot of times I've been getting questions like, Trixie, paano mo ba nagagawa lahat-lahat ng yan? Tutulog ka pa ba? To be honest, hindi ko alam yung sagot. Like, nga no, paano ko ba nagagawa? But one thing is for sure, it's grasya talaga ng Panginoon. It's all God's grace, diba? I don't want to sound really, but that's, I think, doon talaga galing yung strength, diba? Yung energy, hindi ko alam. But, yan nga. And, ayan. So, today, yan yung anuhin natin, topic natin. So, like, ways to get better at working under pressure. So, bago ko ipakilala sa inyo yung guest natin for today, ganito rin ba kayo, mommies? Like, multitasking. Habang nagluluto, check ng orders, tapos may biglang mangungulit sa'yo, Mommy, hungry, ganyan. Diba? So, most of the time, ganyan nangyayari sa atin. We tend to multitask. And it end up na parang, alam mo yun, hindi pa natapos yung araw mo or yung linggo mo, pagod ka na. And always, sasabihin mo, parang kulang yung 24 hours. And most of the time, there are some important things na, alam mo yun, hindi natin natatapos or dahil pagod ka na, hindi mo nalang nagawa. And actually, ito rin yung reason why yung logo ng Smart Mompreneur is like this because parang naisip ko, mommies are like that. Like we are multitasking most of the time. Like taking care of our kids, being a wife, being an entrepreneur, diba? So, yan. Ganyan most ang mga moms. But again, it's just not the mommies. Kahit yung mga hindi pa mommies, diba, yung grabe humataw talaga. Kaya nga minsan sabi natin, grabe ka naman rumakit, wala ka pang anak, pero kala mo 10 na yung anak mo, sa sobrang tindi mo rumakit, diba? So, paano pa nagkaroon ka ng anak? Parang ganun yung usapan minsan, diba? Ng mga single women or ng mga lalaki, kung may mga lalaki manonood sa atin dito, diba? Well, but that's life. Because we want to be productive, we want to reach our goals, diba? But how can we really reach those goals without being exhausted, without being tired and, parang ayawan mo na lang kasi pagod ka na, diba? So, yan ang pag-usapan natin ngayon with our guest today. So, yung guest po natin today, the first time I talked to her, actually, nirecommend siya sa akin ng Coach Darwin, our mentor sa copywriting. He said, noong parang dami ko ng schedule, dami kong ginagawa. Sabi sa akin ni Coach Darwin, kausapin ko daw to para maayos yung schedule ko. So sabi ko, pero dahil nga wala akong time, lagi na delay yung call namin. But nung nag-usap na kami, I feel so parang na-refresh, and what I really like nung nakausap ko siya is that she reminded me that I can be selfish at times. Like, I can ask para sa sarili ko. Yun yung nagustuhan ko dun sa call namin na yun. Kasi I've been doing things for other people, 'di ba? Kasi yun naman yung parang sabi ko, purpose ko parang I want to help other people. Pero ang tanong niya nga, paano ka? Sabi ko nga, paano nga ba ako? So, yan ang share ko sa inyo. Kasi, pero guys, yung sabi sa mga moms, huwag kayong iiyak kasi, ayan, baka masyadong kayong madala. So, ayan. So, hindi ko na patatagalin pa. Let me introduce to you our guest for today, productivity coach, Miss Celz Alejandro. Ayan.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Miss Trixie, for inviting me here. Good afternoon sa mga nanonood. I am really excited to have this talk, especially since Mother's Day. And alam mo yun, this is a topic really close to my heart. And so, yeah, wag na natin patagalin pa.
Yes. So, thank you, Coach Celz. So, Celz na lang ba? So,
Yes, sales na lang.
Celz. Ayan, so bago tayo mag-start, siguro let's just
Sige.
give a background. Like, sino ba si Celz and what does a productivity coach do, or how can you help us, lalo ng mga mommies and entrepreneurs? Yan.
Right. So, ako pa si Celz, ate girl, mula sa Taguig. Joke. Um, uh, yeah, I'm Celz Alejandro. I'm a productivity coach. So, let's just start with like about me. Like, sino ba ako? Why should you listen to me, right? So, I've been doing this for around a year na rin. And it really sprung from that, not really passion, but that vision of like realizing, right? Kasi nung college po ako, tinatapos ko pa yung pag-aaral ko, hustler talaga ako. As in, 1 year before graduation, naghahanap na ako ng work. Ganong klaseng over-planning. Like, sa mga mommies na mahilig mag-plan dyan, down to the littlest detail. I was that kind of person. But prior to that naman, extreme naman na sobrang, there was also a season in my life na sobrang tamad ko. So, as in, like, both sides of the spectrum, na-experience ko na yung sobrang type A na hindi natutulog. Alam mo yun, yung sobrang unhealthy na. And at the same time, yung sobrang lagi nagpo-procrastinate or tinatakbuhan yung requirements sa school. So believe me when I say na, I might not be a mom yet, but I understand kasi I really believe that productivity is a personal journey. It's not just about your outputs of work, but a lot of it is dependent on who you are in this season and ano ba yung nangyayari sa life mo right now, right? Kasi sometimes, like, what may have worked for you in one season, perhaps nung wala ka pang makulit na 2-year-old na kung saan-saan pumupunta, alam mo yon, might not work for you in this season na lagi kang puyat, nag-breastfeed ka. It's very different. And so, my job as a productivity coach, not just for moms, but I am very passionate about, helping more women balance their productivity. The reason for this is because I'm really passionate about helping more people like you kasi I don't know, there's a lot of, ang dami mong mababasa about productivity, right? There's so many techniques, so many like hows and what to do. Pero wala yung context. It's usually in the context of business or work or in a corporate setting. But what about the people who I feel need it the most, na parang you're a full-time like caretaker, homemaker, tapos may online business ka pa, and yet walang resources for that. And it's really strange to me that the people who need it the most, parang sila yung walang resources for them. It's so strange. So yeah, like yun talaga yung my vision is to like change that, hopefully, like one step at a time. So yeah, how
Yeah.
do I help? Yeah, so it's basically, yeah, I talk to my clients. So it's very personal na parang not just your output for work, but who you are and especially what your goals are, right? Like what does success mean to you? Why do you want to be productive? Because productivity is a tool, that is number one. Hindi siya yung end goal, right? It just helps us
Yeah.
be the kind of people we want to be. So yeah.
Nice. Grabe, introduction pa lang yun. Kala ko, mag-start na tayo eh. 'Di ba? So guys, 'di ba? And eto kagad eh, tama yun eh. Who you are in this season. Tama yun. Not because parang na-experience mo na before, ganun mo rin ma-apply ngayon. Iba-iba talaga. And we need that. We need yung parang adaptability, 'di ba? Dun sa situation na yun. And yun yung dun tayo tutulungan ni Celz. So yan. So Celz, I think you have something to share with us ba?
Right. Actually, like I would encourage everyone, like if you have any specific questions, to just isalpak niya lang doon. And I think, yeah, maybe Miss Dixie, we can use your outline pa rin, or if you have
Ah,
questions pa rin.
ay, sige, sige. Ayan. So, ang topic kasi na ba natin today is, okay, wait, let me just share this. Yan. Aha. Ayan. So, our topic for today is ways to get better working under pressure. So, most of the time nga, tayo kasi, konting pressure lang, nangangarag kagad tayo. Kahit na alam mo naman yung mga dapat mong gawin, pero kapag na-pressure ka na, parang nalo-lost tayo. And sabi nga, ang isa daw doon na paraan natin is to break your task down. Like, ask
Right.
yourself, what needs to be done right now? Actually, Cells, ginagawa ko
Mm-hmm.
na to.
Mm-hmm.
Ninote ko yung mga to-do list ko. Pero
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, parang akala ko magagawa ko lahat. But actually, kapag ginagawa ko na siya, like yung task number 1 ko, it will take time pala, longer time.
Yes.
So, yung mga
Yes.
sumunod pa, ko na siya nagagawa. Like, sige, bukas na lang, hanggang
Mm-hmm.
parang napagod ka na, nakalimutan mo na siya gawin
Mm-hmm.
actually. So, paano ba
Right.
to?
Okay, sige. Let's start with the fact na tayong, like us humans, we're really, really bad at estimating the amount of time it takes for us to do something. Especially if hindi mo tinatrack yung, ako kasi tinatrack ko yung time para lang gumaling ako sa pag-estimate ng mga bagay-bagay. But, if hindi ka nerd like me, if normal kang tao, di ba, like, hindi naman, hindi naman natin ginagawa yon. And so, even if alam natin na hindi tayo magaling mag-estimate, pumapalya pa rin. So, if nangyari yon, I just want you to know na normal siya. Hindi ka, like, it's not you. It is just how we are wired talaga. Right? So, knowing that, you can you can break your tasks down better if alamin mo muna ano ba yung mga importante, right? Because I know, like, a lot of you wear many hats, maraming roles, asawa, anak, ano mo yun, like, mom, entrepreneur, tas iba-iba pa yan per business. Tas pag may business ka, ikaw sa marketing, ikaw sa operations. Alam mo yun, like, sobrang dami. And so, hindi ako magugulat, like, if may 20 kang items sa to-do list mo, right? Every single day. Di ba, parang, maglalaba ka pa, tapos, magluluto ka pa, mag-meal prep pa. Swerte pa nga ata kung makapag-meal prep, di ba? Tas, all these things, right? Take up space sa utak natin, right? And so the first thing, prior to breaking your tasks down, you need to get better at knowing alin ba talaga yung kailangan gawin. I know narinig nyo na to. Pero may follow-up question ako, or may follow-up ako, which is, a lot of times, hindi, parang, ang next na tanong ko is, sure ka ba na kailangan yan talaga gawin? Or feeling mo lang, kailangan mo siyang gawin today? Right?
Mm-mm.
Excuse me. So yeah, a lot of times parang panic mode tayo kasi syempre pag nilagay natin sa to-do list natin, dapat check yan, di ba? Satisfying kasi pag na-cross out lahat. Pero nare-realize mo na, ito hindi pa talaga urgent. So, okay lang. So, parang i-exercise ninyo yung bago kayo gumawa ng tasks nyo. Actually, ang suggestion ko is, ako ang ginagawa ko, which is ang suggestion ko, every quarter, meron akong isang malaking goal, right? Every quarter yon, so 3 months yon. And then, when I say breaking your tasks down, that is what I mean. Hindi yung parang step 1, kunyari magsasaing ako ng bigas. Step 1, kumuha ng pantakal. Hindi ganon. Kasi alam mo na yun eh, magaling ka na sa ginagawa mo eh. Pero yung higher level, 'di ba, na parang okay, let's say gusto ko mag-launch ng bagong business, 'di ba? So, let's say quarter 3 sa susunod, gusto ko mag-launch ng, I don't know, dropshipping business, di ba? Gusto kong pa-coach kay Trixie. So, what do I need to do? So, syempre, per month, magkakaroon ka ng target. So, again, per quarter, may isa kang malaking goal. And then, per month, may isa ka ring, may, i-divide mo yon into mas maliliit na parang projects, di ba? So, kunyari,
Yeah.
gusto ko ng bagong business. Ano ba yung kailangan ko? Siyempre, product, tapos marketing, tapos logistics, tapos, parang i-breakdown na yun ng utak mo eh. So, let's say, ano ba yung uunahin? Siyempre, yung pag-source ng supplier. So, yun yung uunahin mo.
Mm-mm.
So, let's say,
Mm-mm.
month number 1, ito yung priority mo. Hindi ko sinasabing, hindi mo na gagawin yung ibang tasks. Because I'm sure a lot of us, parang, gagawin yon. It's just that I want you to have goals that are specific and detailed, and alam mo, bago ka makipagbakbakan sa gera, alam mo yung target mo, di ba? Right? So,
Mm-mm.
once you do the monthly, so quarterly, and then monthly, and then weekly, right? Yung
Mm-mm.
weekly, dyan na talaga naglalaro. So, weekly, and then minsan daily, pero alam kong parang one day sometimes is really not enough. So, I would suggest, if marami kang ginagawa, you can do dailies. It's fine. Pero, wag ka magtataka. Like, I want you to be kind to yourself. And I'm gonna be saying that a lot. I want you to be kind to yourself and say na, okay, itong to-do lists ko for today, hindi ko natapos. Iuusad ko to tomorrow. And it's okay. And I want you guys to not feel guilty about it. Kasi, ang target mo naman is this week, nagawa mo
Mm-mm.
yung lahat, right? And so,
Yes, yes.
yun ang suggestion ko, how to break things down.
So, yeah. And ang ganda ng mga ano na yun eh, talagang kapag hindi ka magaling sa yung pang malawakan na goal, mahirap yan. Break it talaga into a smaller
Yes.
detail eh. And I think, Celz, I will share lang din kasi ngayon, ang ginagawa ko
Sure.
talaga is, yun nga, binibreakdown ko muna yung pang week. Kasi parang minsan ang bigat nung pang isang buwan, diba? Tapos quarterly, ganyan. So, I have this parang goal map. So, let's say, ito yung goal ko. Tapos meron ito yung gagawin ko. Paano pag hindi naging successful? Tapos, ito yung susunod na gagawin ko. So, pag hindi pa rin, ito uli, parang branches siya. Para lang
Mm-mm.
guided ako, what are the next steps na gagawin ko with that
Right.
task? Okay ba yun? Or parang lalo ko lang inaano yung sarili ko? Masyadong
Um,
detailed.
Again, like, what works for you? If it works for you, then go. So, my next question
Mm-mm.
for that would be like, how does your brain work? Mahilig ka ba magplano talaga? Like, you're that kind of person.
Mm.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Because if yes, then it's not overwhelming for you. And if it works, then go do it. Ang suggestion ko lang is make sure you don't plan for every possible branch, right? Kasi
Yeah.
that might take up so much time. So I would just say, sige, if your brain works that way, do that, pero put a limit na parang, okay, iisipin ko lang tong plan na to for a maximum of 2 hours, tapos rock na. Parang ganun, right? But if
Yes.
you're the type of person na madaling ma-overwhelm sa mga ganong plano, then you don't have to do that. So, yeah.
Ganda. So yun guys kapag halimbawa puro na kayo plano, ano nyo din, kumbaga isipin nyo din,
Limitin nyo. Yes.
ililimit din natin yung pagpaplano kasi yun yung parang planong hanggang naging plano na lang but wala
Yes.
tayong nagawa
Yes.
kasi
Ang gusto,
overwhelming na.
yes. Actually, I was parang, I guess, a year to maybe like 2 years ago, sobrang over-planner din ako. Um,
Hmm.
what I want, ang natutunan ko talaga and what I want to share then with you guys is you don't need to ask permission from anyone to do your thing, right? So you have to learn how to trust yourself. I know parang a lot of us, especially women, na parang ang dami nating plano, tas gusto natin perfect, tas gusto natin okay lahat. Just know that it's okay to trust yourself and figure things out eventually. Kasi parang
Hmm.
if you really reach deep down, ma-realize mo na kahit ano naman, I mean, nanganak ako, alam mo yon, parang nanganak, alam mo yun, nanganak ako, pinagdaanan ko tong lahat. Like, why wouldn't I be able to, get over whatever comes my way? So parang, trust yourself. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, yes. Oo nga. Ano tayo, maging mabait tayo sa sarili natin
Yes.
talaga. Ayan. And ito, next is, number 2 sabi, forget the future, focus on the present.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're too busy, like, ito gusto ko, ito ganyan, ganyan. 10 years from now, ito yung gusto ko. Sobrang naging busy na tayo working on the future that we forget the present. Yung ano talaga yung sitwasyon natin ngayon. 'Di ba?
Right.
So, nawawala yung reality, parang gano'n. Nasa ideal ka 'pag future kasi para sa'kin ideal, eh. But the present is, yun yung realidad, parang gano'n. Tama ba?
Yeah, so for this one, forget the future, focus on the present. We're not saying na wag kang magplano for your future because you need some future planning
Yes,
to be
yes.
responsible, right? But not so much that it paralyzes you. Na kakaisip mo sa future, napapabayaan mo na yung present. Kasi alam ko, I don't know if it's just me, pero parang high school pa lang ako, gumawa ako ng Pinterest board na ideal wedding or ideal house. Alam mo yun? Parang, ang hilig ko sa ganon. May
Dream
mga
board, dream board.
nakaka-relate ba?
Oo,
Yeah,
dream
dream board,
board.
vision board. Yan.
Yeah.
And so, I get too caught up in that na parang, I also get super impatient na parang, hala, yung vision ko for myself. Alam mo yun? Parang madaling-madali ako to get it.
Mm.
And I guess that's also, again, like when we're trying to improve ourselves, especially when we're trying to be productive, right? Or let's say, may New Year's resolution ako na, mag-exercise na talaga ako. Right?
Oo,
Mag-exercise
yes.
na ako this year, promise, Pexman. Ito na, mag-gym na ako, bayaran ko na yung membership ko. Tapos, ano mangyayari? 2 weeks to like a month, pababa na yan. Okay? And the reason is because mahilig tayong biglain yung sarili natin na parang, sobrang taas ng motivation ko, ganyan. So, push na natin, ganyan. While that is nice, you have to also realize that habits are a long-term thing. Hindi
Mm.
siya seasonal. Hindi siya yung parang, pag nag-gym ako ng January to March, suddenly may six-pack abs na ako. Hindi eh. Habits are a choice that you have to make every single day until, like, for the rest of your life if gusto mo ma-maintain, di ba? And so, know that it's a marathon, hindi siya sprint. Kumbaga, my suggestion is like, okay, I just want you to look at things na just enough for you to do the next action, right? Just enough for you to do the next action. The reason for that is, number one, we don't really know kung ano mangyayari. COVID happened, hindi natin inaasahan. And there will be more of these things. And preparing for the worst case scenario all the time while helpful to some extent, pag nasobrahan, it's gonna paralyze you. You're gonna be worried and paranoid about everything. So
Yeah.
instead of flourishing, you're you're in fear. You're frustrated instead of flourishing, and we don't want that. And so when that time comes, I want you guys to be aware, right? When may situation ba, may time ba in your life when you get so paralyzed just thinking about the future, right?
Mm-mm.
And then
Yes.
think about that, and then tell yourself right now na parang when that time comes na mangyari ito ulit sa akin, I will just, look straight ahead and a little bit down. Parang gusto ko ang tingnan nyo yung just the next possible step, just the next possible step to reduce that overwhelm and that frustration and that whole paralysis of just planning too much na ang daming factors di mo alam. So,
Mm,
yeah.
mm. Yes. So, 'yan. Ano din, sa'kin naman ito ginagawa ko rin 'to parang today eto lang muna, then bukas tomorrow
Mhm.
is another day, then 'pag natapos yung today, oh, that would be ta's magugulat ka na lang yung buong
Yes.
week mo pala, 'di ba? Yun, sobrang naging smooth lang lahat. So, 'yan, take one step at a time talaga.
Yes.
So, yun. Then, eto, sabi naman next is create a prioritization strategy.
Right.
Like, yan.
Right.
Eto, dito ka, I think, papasok yung mga productivity coaches
Uh-huh.
Eto, hindi ko alam
Yeah.
kung paano to, etong strategy na to. Paano ba
Okay.
yan?
So this is how I usually do it, right? First question would be, ano muna yung, what do you want to prioritize in the first place, right? Which means, ano ba yung importante for you, right? Like, what are the things in your life that are important? I'm sure that although we are all, business minded, I'm sure there are things na parang, oh, the reason why you want to be successful, especially financially, is for these things. Tut, 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 tut. And so I want you to consider that as well, right? I want you to
Mm,
imagine what kind of life do you want to actually live. So my favorite thing to ask here is, if you had if you were like the wealthiest person on earth, right? How would you live your life? That's number one. How would you live your life if money was not an issue at all? Ano yung gusto niyong gawin? How do you want to be working, right? How many hours? Ano yung gusto mong gawin? As in, be as specific as possible. Like,
mm,
pagkagising mo, ito yung gagawin mo. And then, nakatira ka sa dito, sa ganyan, sa beach, or gusto mo nagtatrabaho ka once a week lang. And that brings up yung sa unconscious mind natin. That brings up the things that we really desire. So that's the first step, right? So once you have that, I'm gonna ask you, like, ano ba yung goals mo right now? Para makuha mo yung, para makuha mo yung dream lifestyle mo, right? And
mm,
so
mm.
let's try it. Try.
Oo.
um, yeah, but yeah, that's how I would do it. And so once you have that down, now dito na papasok yung more of strategy and tactics, right? So now ito yung ideal mo, ito yung actual mo. And so ipaglalapat natin na okay, ano yung kulang mula sa actual papunta sa ideal na pwede nating gamitin, right? Pang bridge. So what do I mean by this? What's a good example? Let's say, ganito yung usual na tanong, right? How do I prioritize everything if lahat sila importante sa akin or sabay-sabay or alam mo yun, ganito, ganyan, right? Right? So let's
Yeah,
say that includes taking care of kids, tas may yung iba pa nag-homeschool pa, 'di ba?
yeah,
Taking care of kids, business, being a good wife, what other things? Like syempre, self-care for yourself na
yeah,
usually nagiging last, 'di ba?
yeah.
So how do I balance all of this, especially if may full-time work pa ako or makulit anak ko, like they're in that season, may pagka-clingy. How do I do that? How do I focus on my work and stuff like that? So I need you to first think of like your list of non-negotiables, right? You need to do this in advance kasi usually nangyayari, worst case scenario is parang syempre, like when we're working on income generating activities, minsan nakakalimutan natin na, kaya nga pala ako naging businesswoman kasi I want to see my children grow up. But ang nangyayari, I left my 9 to 5, napalitan ng 6 to 6. Alam mo yun, 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. Hindi na nakakapagpahinga. And so, yeah, yun. You need to know that first, right? And then prioritize accordingly. You should not settle. Do not settle for anything less than your dream life as early as now. Kasi, alam mo yun, what if you've been doing this, tas napansin mo just like 3 years after, di ba? Parang mahirap mag-correct. And so you need to be aware na parang, yung ginagawa ko ba ngayon, aligned ba to sa it's what I like to call a personal compass, right? We always have that true north inside ourselves na parang, I really feel like I want to be this kind of person, right? And so, kahit anong gawin mo, parang you will be drawn into that. Like, I really want to see my kids grow up. I really want to be the one to take care of them. Whatever that looks like for you. Do not, like, don't put it on mute. Use that as your prioritization strategy. Number 1, right? Compass mo, right? Why are you doing what you're doing? Because I don't want to teach people to be productive, pero mga robot naman. Alam mo yun, parang that's not why we're doing this, right? We're doing this so that you can have purposeful lives na masaya kayo. Because the reason why is because hindi kayo ginawa ng Diyos para lang magising araw-araw at magtrabaho. Para lang sa ibang tao na hindi ka masaya. You're just doing things, you're going through the motions. You were not made for that, okay? You were not made for that. There's just so much more in store for you. You just have to fight for it. Binigay na eh. You just have to take it. And so, yun, set your non-negotiables, right? And so, let's go into more like nitty-gritty strategy. So now, okay, non-negotiable sa akin yung family, and then non-negotiable sa akin yung ministry, and then pangatlo yung business, and then, I non-negotiable rin yung time ko para sa sarili ko. So how do you do that? Okay? There are things in your to-do list na feeling mo kailangan mong gawin every day, pero na-realize mo, hindi naman pala. Right? I don't know. Growing up, I was taught na dapat naglilinis araw-araw. And yes, that's true. Pero, you get to judge na parang, kailangan ko na ba talaga? Ano yung mas importante? Yung laundry ko na tupi or itong sumasabog yung mga orders? Like, which one is more important? And you have to allow yourself na, okay, hindi ko muna ayusin yung labada kasi kaya ko naman yan, or kaya kong i-delegate yan, kaya ko i-delay yan. Parang, worst case scenario, edi kukuha ako ng malinis na damit mula sa laundry kapag kailangan ko. And that's okay. I mean, wala namang ibang who's gonna judge you, right?
Tama.
Like, who's gonna judge you? You just don't yourself, which you shouldn't do. Because, I mean, may ginagawa ka mas importante. And another thing that I want to say when it comes to prioritization is we love giving 100% of ourselves all the time. We were taught, right, 100% in everything that you do. Do it for the Lord. Yes, that's true. But not to the extent na mababurn out ka. And so this is me telling you a counterintuitive idea na parang if hindi naman siya sobrang sumasabog na urgent, na sobrang, allow yourself to not give 100%, right? Kasi, imagine niyo sa isang araw, may internal battery tayo, parang cellphone, di ba? Kahit wala tayong siya nung ginagawa, nade-deplete yan, slowly. Pero minsan, pag may intense tayong ginagawa, may mga nakaka-drain na activities, nakakapagod, mas mabilis yan ma-drain. And so, if ibibigay mo, let's say, ang activity na to, let's say, activity A, nakaka-deplete siya ng 10% ng battery mo. Tapos itong activity B, let's say, 50% ng battery mo. Kasi hindi sila equal eh. Hindi sila equal. There are activities that will drain you and there are activities that will recharge you, right? So you have to allow yourself na parang, okay, nagawa ko tong 50%, alam mo yon, activity B, na-deplete ako ng 50%, like, okay lang bang hindi ko nagawin? Like, you have to allow yourself na hindi ko muna gagawin si activity C na 80% yung matatanggal sa'yo, right? Kasi otherwise, if gagawin mo yon,
Pagod na.
doing the math, hindi lang pagod, pero negative ka na. Alam mo yun, plakda levels ka na. And you know, that's okay. As long as, alam mo, the things that really matter to you, right? Na parang,
Nagawa mo.
nagawa mo. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's just like a little bit of it. But I hope that gives you a good overview of like how you do this.
Yeah. Ayun. Speaking of the non-negotiables, actually recent ko lang din yan talaga natutunan and slowly na-apply ko talaga sa buhay ko ngayon. Yung non-negotiables. Like, I know, na-share ko to sa mga tao that, kasi dati, Monday to Sunday, pag may nagme-message sa akin, sinasagot ko lahat yan. Email, sinasagot ko yung lahat yan. But,
Right.
when I realized, I don't have to do that.
Yes.
I need to set my priorities. And boundaries, yes.
Yes.
Kasi nagkaroon ng time, hanggang Sabado nag-work ako. Like, eto, may webinar. Then, after nito, meron akong accountability call. Then, matatapos accountability call ko ng 9. Paglabas ko ng kwarto, si Bowas, yung anak ko, sabi niya, Mommy, parang, miss na miss ako ng anak ko. Parang, wow, that's hard, right? Parang wala ng time. Parang, bakit ko ba ginagawa lahat? Di ba, para sa kanya? Pero bakit wala akong time sa kanya?
Exactly.
Parang ganon.
It's so ironic, no?
Oo, wag niyo na ako paiyakin. Pero, yun yung na-realize ko. He's my deepest why. I am doing all these things. Yet, napapabayaan ko yung why ko. So, I set a non-negotiable. I told everyone that my weekends is for family.
Yes.
Like, after nitong webinar ko na to, kanila na ako. So, doon sa mga nagme-message, sa mga nag-email, Monday na kayo. Parang ganon.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like, my Sunday is a family day. Of course, it's my Sabbath day. It's for God and yun nga, family. And then, Monday na uli. Monday to Friday. Saturday, half day, diba? Kasi, ito, naka-dedicate talaga yung Saturday ko after na 3 p.m. for Smart Mompreneur. But then, after this, wala. Family talaga. So,
Right.
yun.
Mm-hmm. And it's not
yeah.
It's
Yes,
not selfish to do so. There is a way to do it na hindi, because like a lot of people think na, oh, I'm scared na, oh, if hindi ako nag-reply sa, nag-i-inquire sa business ko, di na sila bibili sa akin, ganito, what if, blah, 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 sayang, nandiyan na eh, pera rin yan. I understand. Pero, parang, if you are not in the danger zone for money, you have to allow yourself to just trust na even if hindi mo to ma-entertain, if para sa'yo to, or if para sa'yo to, babalik yan. Or if not, like, hindi ka mauubusan, okay?
Tama.
And so,
yes.
you have to set your boundaries. I will give a script of like, this is how I do my boundaries kapag weekend, okay? This is how I say it. Tinitingnan ko naman yung message to see like, urgent pa to, hindi. So this, I would see it and then, okay, hindi to urgent. And I say, thank you, name. So, syempre, ipa-personalize ko na lang. Uy, thanks for your message or something like that. Just make it sound like you. Like, thanks for your message. Nakita ko. I've seen it. Would it be okay for me to reply? Would it be okay for me to reply on Monday? I'm really practicing my boundaries. Or you don't have to explain. Ako, I just like explaining myself na parang you don't have to explain. You don't owe it to anyone. But I just personally like, oh, I'm practicing my boundaries. Or I just say like, I don't work on weekends kasi. But just know that I've seen your message. Di kita sinisin zone. And ito yung key. Like, if I don't respond by Monday X PM or X AM, I'm giving you permission kulitin ako ulit. Parang
Mm,
gano'n. And so,
mm.
that,
Yes.
lessens the load on you na parang you don't have to think about it the whole weekend kasi you're giving them permission. And so, if it's really important to them, they will remember. And if they don't, then it's okay. And yeah, parang ang ganda yung success rate ko. It doesn't make you feel guilty. It doesn't make them feel ignored.
Yeah.
And your boundaries are protected. So,
Yes,
try
yes.
it out.
Pero minsan nga yung magta-try pa rin iba na, Miss Trixie, alam
Meron
ko po,
talaga.
like Saturday
Yeah.
ngayon or Sunday ngayon, ganyan. Pero baka lang, parang, pero alam mo
Yeah.
yun, minsan pag wala ka naman din talagang ginagawa, ba tulog naman sa, sagot pa rin
Yeah.
naman ako.
Yeah.
Basta hindi naapektuhan yung, alam mo yun, yung
Yeah.
non-negotiables mo.
Right.
So, yan. But yun din pala, and with the viewers, let me just share lang din sa inyo kung ano yung ginagawa namin inside our accountability call. Ito, medyo nag-work to sa amin. Nakikita nyo na ba? Nakikita ba siya? Ayan. So, in our accountability call, we have this Jamboard. Like, ano yung goal? Kasi most of the time, our students, parang they're asking, nasa right track po ba ako? Tama po ba yung ginagawa ko? So, ang try ko to sa nila, before we answer na nasa right track ka or tama yung ginagawa mo, ano ba yung goal? So, we hinimay-himay namin yun. So, ayan, like, eto, like, ano ba yung goal mo? May number 1 goal, 'di ba? Tapos, why is this goal important? Kapag, how will I know if I've reached my goal, yung mga challenges that may arise, and yung mga action steps. So, parang ganyan, hinimay-himay namin para mas madali nilang maintindihan kung nasa tamang track ba sila and hindi sila ma-overwhelmed. Kasi 'di ba sa e-commerce nga parang lagi tayo, kailangan ganito, kailangan kumita ako ng 6 figures, 7 figures, ganyan-ganyan. But paano mo gagawin yun, 'di ba? And thinking pa lang kung paano mo yun gagawin, sobrang overwhelming na. Kaya sabi ko sa kanila, himahimayin natin. What is your goal next week? Paano mo yun gagawin? Bakit kailangan mong gawin? And paano natin malalaman kung na-reach mo na? Parang ganun. And I think sa group din naman namin, it's successful din naman because may mga nagkaka-result talaga. And ngayon, naiintindihan nila yung proseso nung ginagawa namin. 'Di ba? So, yun. Ayan. And then, next natin, ito. Ayan. So, tapos na tayo sa creative prioritization strategy. So, sabi ito, madalas to pinag-usapan, procrastination. So, madalas kasi, 'di ba, parang bukas na lang, matagal pa naman yung deadline niyan. Ganyan. 'Di ba? Ganyan nga sabi, 'di ba? So, dahil parang pwede pa naman bukas, sa ganitong araw. So, most of the time, nag-slack tayo, ganyan. And of course, yung ugali ng Pinoy na manyana habit, mamaya na, bukas na lang. Galit pa, 'di ba? Mamaya na, pwede pa. So, yan. How to stop this? How to
Okay.
stop
Yeah.
this? Yeah.
I wouldn't say na you can stop it 100%, but I do believe that you can change your relationship with procrastinating to actually let it fuel you and yeah, allow yourself to use it to actually make you more productive. So what do I mean by this, right? Why do we procrastinate in the first place? Maraming mga theories, pero for me, it's either you have this fear of failing or something. You are scared of like what will happen if ginawa ko to. And so it's like ayoko gawin kasi scary, alam mo yon. Or it's boring to you. Hindi, I mean parang people always say na, oh, yung attention span ng mga tao, maikli na. But then, those same people na maikli yung attention span, quote-unquote, kayang manood ng, alam mo yun, kaya i-binge watch yung K-drama, yung Vincenzo, like, isang go. Alam mo yun? And so, it's not, I don't think it's about our attention span. It's just that we're getting pickier, like, on the, like, things na that will engage us. Kasi really, the internet right now, sobrang daming information that I feel like sometimes it's too much information, right? Um, and so nakaka-overwhelm. And so, right, so you have this fear or you just don't like doing it. It doesn't engage you, right? So let's talk about that. Na parang, okay, so I think those are the main reasons why people procrastinate, right? So how do you deal with this in the first place? Okay. Before that, let's rewind a bit and really talk about time management with quotation marks, right? Quote unquote time management. I really don't. Okay. Here's the thing. I don't believe in time management. I just use it sometimes to explain because people call it time management. I don't believe in it because okay, the word management. Let's be nerdy a little bit. The term management is used when you're trying to um, allocate resources or like do something about something else that you have control over. That's why it's
Yeah.
called managing, project management, home management, financial management. Those are things that you have some semblance of control over. But when it comes to time, right? You cannot stop time. You cannot, alam mo yun, hindi ka pwedeng mag-time travel, hindi ka pwedeng mag-fast
Pause, hindi
forward,
puwede. Oo,
hindi ka pwede mag-fast forward sa time
fast
na six
forward,
figure
yeah.
na earn mo per
Stop.
month.
Mm.
Alam mo yon. So, our relationship with the clock has to change. And so, I like using the term energy management instead, right? That doesn't mean we don't look at the clock or, use time management techniques. It's just that we reframe it in the context of energy, right? So,
Mm.
reframing meaning um, let's say in the sense na how do we usually schedule things, right? Like let's say 9 to 10 9 to 10 ano na ako. I'm gonna start working 10 to something, mag-exercise ako 11 to 12 magkukok ako ng lunch, etc., etc. So, that is the traditional na parang, okay, ito yung schedule ko, ganyan. And that works. But what I suggest is adding another layer to it na energy management. So, first question, right? What time do you normally wake up? By that, ang importante sa akin malaman is, are you a morning person or a night person? Comment it down below. May mga morning, ikaw po ba, Miss Trixie?
Ayan.
Ano
I
sa'yo?
think I'm more of a night person. Talagang
Mm,
gabi ako nakaka-work talaga.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is your what we like to call chronotype. That's what's natural to you. Ako naman paggabi sabaw na ako. So I like working early in the morning talaga. As in, um, so that is so again, it's very personal, 'di ba? Na parang I don't believe that you have to wake up at 5 a.m. to be super duper productive, like what
Yeah.
some people are saying, right? I mean, I understand the principle of why it would work. Pero what if what if you're a mom na may toddler na makulit, tas gabi ka lang nakaka-focus talaga? Or what if may night shift ka? Alam mo 'yon, parang I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
we can close productivity off. Like parang, oh, if hindi ka nagigising ng 5 a.m., di ka productive. It's weird. So that's number one. Like, what? What time do you normally wake up? Or maybe a better question is, what time is your brain most active? Right?
Mhm.
And then I want you to take note of that while making your schedule. Right? Okay. So, knowing that, let's say, ako, morning person ako, ang gagawin ko sa schedule ko para hindi ako mag-procrastinate is I immediately put, number one, either a task. na mahirap or a task na kailangan ng maraming brain cells, maraming brain power ang kailangan. Usually, for me, that's writing. Okay?
Tama,
Yun
tama.
yung uunahin ko. And, um, and then, sa afternoon, doon ko sineschedule yung calls ko kasi doon na yung energy ko alam mo
Baba
yun,
na.
parang pababa na talaga. So, I am an introvert and so, talking to a lot of people, like, I love talking to people, but I really know it drains me. So, hindi ko siya ilalagay sa morning kasi pag ginawa ko yun sa morning, di ako makapagtrabaho the whole day. Right? And
Na, right.
So knowing those time management techniques coupled with knowing your, energy management mo, ima-match mo lang siya sa schedule mo. Like, i-move around mo siya, right? Like parang, okay,
Yes.
itong stuff na to, ilalagay ko sa morning, and then itong stuff na to na low energy na ako, dyan ko siya ilalagay. This is where it makes sense, right? And so how
Mm-mm.
does that tie in with procrastination? Um, we tend to procrastinate kasi like ako, I tend to procrastinate. Like I don't, naapektuhan yung parang pag-connect ko, pag-network ko dati. Kasi um, I would take calls na morning and I hated it. Tapos na-realize kong I really disliked it. And so that's why I feared it. I really did. And it was overwhelming, right?
Mm.
Or may times naman na gabi na saka ako nagsusulat and patay na talaga yung brain cells ko, gusto matulog, ayaw na talaga. So it really bores me, right? And on the
Mm-mm.
topic of boredom, um, so when you look at your schedule, let's say you have to may kailangan mo magsulat for like 4 hours, right? That chunk of time, usually, nakaka-drain yon. And so this is where procrastination comes in, right? You can procrastinate productively in between yung deep work na tinatawag natin. So,
Yeah.
what do I mean by this? It means, let's say, schedule ko for today, 8 a.m. to 12, kailangan ko magsulat ng something, like an article or something like that. Maraming articles, right? How would I do that? If dedire-diretsuhin ko siya, I will procrastinate. I know that. And I'm pretty sure that might be the case for you guys rin. Why? Kasi nakakaumay. Nakakaumay talaga siya. Um, and so what I would do is break that task up smaller. Ako kasi parang self-aware na ako na, okay, I can write for maybe an hour straight. So I would give myself an hour and then I will let myself procrastinate. What do I mean by this? This is what I mean by using procrastination to make you more productive.
Mm.
I let myself do social media. I let myself do whatever it is I do to procrastinate, pero controlled, right? And the reason why I'm teaching you this is the effect of it kasi, right? Nare-refresh yung utak mo. Like, so, imbis na pinipilit mo yung sarili mo na gawin yon for like 4 hours straight kahit na ayaw mo na talaga, alam mo yon, you give yourself these mini breaks, give yourself
Mm.
that mini, I don't even like to call it procrastination kasi I don't think it is. It's a refresher. And it really
Oo.
does help, right? And
Mm-mm.
actually, what are the things that we do when we try to procrastinate? Naglilinis, nag-check ng email. Alam mo yun, things that don't really take up a lot of mental space. Edi, you can actually, pwede mong gawin, hatiin mo yung chores mo, right? Like, imbis na mag-vacuum ka ng buong mansion ninyo, alam mo yun, like, maybe in your procrastination break, you just vacuum as maybe just a small part of it. And so, parang, it refreshes your brain, nalinis na yung kwarto mo, alam mo yun, tapos, you're actually, it's like multiple birds with one stone. So that is
Mm.
the technique that I would suggest, right? So I'll summarize that because that was a big chunk, right? So number one, know your personal like highs and lows sa energy. And number two, know which activities drain you,
Nice.
which
Mm-mm.
activities refresh you, right? So have that, like know that already before bago ka makipagbakabakan sa gera. And then number three, knowing your schedule. Like ano yung kailangan mong i-rearrange to make it
Mm,
work for your time and your energy, right? And
correct.
then break it down. Like if you feel like mafe-feel mo yan eh. Like I invite you to allow yourself to feel things when you're working.
Yeah.
Emotions are not a bad thing. They're what makes you human, and they're what tells you what's working for you and what's not, and that's okay. So
Yes.
when your brain is telling you to like stop, let yourself stop and do something else. And then maybe after 10-15 minutes, balik ka ulit. And then you'll see na, okay, kaya ko na ulit. So, yeah.
Ayun. Alam mo ngayon, hearing that, parang alam ko na bakit ako mababa sa trigo nung high school ako. Kasi yung trigo namin, last subject yun eh. Kumbaga parang
Right.
pagod
Yeah,
pagod na yung utak ko. So tapos last
exactly.
subject ko, math, trigo. Wala na, yung brain cells ko, ubos na. So, wala
Exactly.
na ako naintindihan, di ba? Mali yung scheduling nung high school ako, kaya siguro
Yeah.
naiwan ko yung math.
Sa amin
Yan, ganun
naman,
pala
math
yun.
right after lunch. So, nagdadigest ka. Tapos, ano yun, nakakaantok.
Dapat dapat alam yan sa school eh, na dapat yung math umpisa ng araw para energy punong-puno pa yung brain cells mo.
Exactly.
But, 'di ba parang gano'n pala yun, gano'n pala yung concept nun. So, kung ano yung mas tingin mo magde-drain ng energy mo, yun ang unahin mo. So that
Right.
yung mga smaller details will not take up yung energy. So, ganda nung ano na yun. So guys, kung ano yung mahirap, yan muna yung gawin. Magte-take up ng energy. And yun, tama yung sabi ni Celz, mahirap yung manage talagang time because time is not something that we cannot control. Kaya hindi totoo yung, totoo yung time management. Oo. Sino ba nagsabi nun? So, sa mundo natin, ng realidad, we really cannot control time. So, yan. Galing, ganda nun. Thank you, thank you. So, next is, eto sabi, take contrary action with purposeful slacking. I think ito, minsan guilty tayo dito na parang sabi mo, parang pagod ako, sige, pahinga lang sandali, ganyan. Tapos hanggang nagtuloy-tuloy na. Nagtuloy-tuloy
Parang,
na.
isang episode lang ng Vincenzo.
Parang isang episode lang, tapos maya natapos na yung buong series, di ba? But I think lahat naman tayo, we can really take this purposeful slacking. Like, hinga lang sandali. Gusto mo kumain ka na masarap sandali, tapos nun, back to work ka na, di ba? Tama ba yun?
Right. So actually, since I kind of discussed this already sa previous number, so what I want
Mm-mm.
to talk about is this whole feeling na hindi na sanay magpahinga yung mga tao na parang, oh, if hindi ako nagtrabaho today, feeling ko may mali. That is a sign na parang if feeling mo hindi kompleto araw mo nang hindi napapagod dahil sa work, I feel like that's a sign for you to really slow down and start slacking off. It's unhealthy, and I don't want to promote a culture na parang proud tayo na puyat tayo, proud tayo na hindi natin inaalagaan sarili natin para lang sa hustle. I believe na we can flourish without having to sacrifice our health, like both mental health and physical health, right? So, if you're the kind of person who feels that way, right? Na parang, hindi ako sanay na hindi ako nagtatrabaho. Maybe try to examine if nagiging workaholic ka na. And if that's a bad thing, I think it starts being a bad thing if yun nga, nafe-feel mo na weird pag hindi ka busy. And number two, if like, you're starting to crave work and what other things. May isa pa eh. I'm just trying to recall it. Give me a few seconds to recall it.
Sige.
Yeah, if you don't take care of yourself anymore, what this means is like, sige, push na natin, deadline na eh, ganito, ganyan. And then, it starts like hindi na natapos yung sige urgent gawin na natin. Oy sayang naman ganyan. That is a one-way ticket to burnout. I've been there and it's not pretty. Ito pa another symptom if sumasakit na yung
Sakit ka
katawan
na.
ninyo.
Yeah.
Sumasakit katawan mo. As in, parang hindi ka naman nag-exercise. Dati naman kahit nakaupo ka, hindi naman sumasakit. That is your body telling you to like stop
Rest.
working.
Oo. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share. Like, personally, ako, that manifested, I'm not sure if I have PCOS, pero parang that manifested in body stress, as in, di ako nagka-period for like 4 months. That is dangerous. That is dangerous. I've also had a friend before, 1 year siyang wala. And it's like, that is your body on danger zone. It means it's super stressed. It's survival mode, so it's not producing eggs. Kasi nga, parang, nahihirapan siya just actually maintaining other
Yeah.
functions because you're super
Hormones.
stressed.
Yeah.
Right? And so, yeah, those are the signs, the telltale signs. So, if you're feeling that, you need to start purposefully slacking. So, let's go into that. So, na-mention ko na siya kanina, but what other things are purposeful like slacking? Let's reframe the word slacking and just call it what it really is, which is rest.
Yeah.
It's not slacking. It's just rest. So and that is okay. So don't say you're slacking. Just say you're resting. And so the next question people always tell me is, so how do I know if nasasobrahan na? How do I know na, what if
Yes,
nasobrahan na ako sa
yes.
rest? Right? Common question talaga yan. And for that, I would say like, I'm not a mind reader. I mean, I can try to talk you through it, pero babalik tayo sa you will really know. You have to allow your gut feeling and you have to give yourself permission to be confident of how you are feeling, right? And mostly, parang the people that ask me that question, for me, parang the fact that you're asking me that question already tells me a lot na parang bakit mo tatanungin if feeling mo hindi pa siya over? Alam mo yun? So,
Mm-mm.
parang, usually not always, pero parang, that already means na perhaps you already feel like, sasobrahan na, di ba?
Mm-mm.
Um,
Mm-mm.
but again, we temper emotions. Emotions are important, but we temper that with science and strategies. So, sound systems
Yes.
and strategies. Right? So how do we do that? Like, okay, if I feel like I'm resting too much, I take a look at I have a log of the things that I need to do. Kasi nga, di ba,
Mm-mm.
binreak down na natin yung goals. And so,
Yeah.
titingnan ko, like, totoo ba? Totoo ba yung nararamdaman ko? Totoo ba yung nararamdaman ko na I'm slacking too much? And then, pagtingin ko sa to-do list ko, like, oh, ang dami ko na palang nagawa.
Oo, oo.
Tapos 'di ba, going back kasi nga nerd ako tapos nag-time tracking ako kahit di naman kailangan. Titingnan ko, tapos akala ko nag-slack ako tapos yun pala 30 hours na ako nagtatrabaho this week. So parang,
Hmm.
it's like I suggest that yes, you hone the power of your emotions
Mm.
plus temper that with like super solid systems so
Mm.
that you allow yourself to feel things pero like, nate-temper mo siya ng data and at the same time, hindi ka naman robot na puro numbers lang ang pakialam.
Tama.
But you're also like humanizing yourself, right? And so it's really good to be able to know how to balance the two, right? Knowing myself as a human, but also hindi nagpapadala sa emotions. At the same time, okay ako sa numbers, sa data ko. At the same time, di naman ako robot na puro systems na lang, puro by the book rules na lang na hindi ko kino-consider yung, alam mo yun, being a person
Yes.
na
Tama.
napapagod. So,
Correct.
there.
So, yun. So, okay lang, guys, magpahinga. Yun nga. Yun yung, I think, prior nung nag-usap tayo, di ba? Sabi ko sa'yo, masakit yung likod ko.
Mm-hmm.
Yan, para magkakasakit ako. Kasi, yung week na yun, ang dami kong ginawa. Webinars, masterclass, meetings. Tapos, preparation para sa sale and all. Tapos sabi ko, ngayong week na 'to, medyo mag-slow down ako, papahinga ako, kakain ako masarap, alam mo yun, chill
Exactly.
lang. And then
Yeah.
nung tinanong mo ako, 'di ba, "Kamusta po yun?" Sabi ko sa'yo, "Masaya. I feel so refreshed." Parang ano, 'di na masakit yung katawan ko, yung parang na-recharge talaga siya. Because I was able to ano din, regain energy. And why I'm doing that, because next week sobrang magiging busy na naman kami. So, it's
Right.
like preparing your body again sa battlefield na yun nga, magiging busy week ka, parang gano'n. So, parang bawi-bawi din, 'di ba? So, kasi
Yeah.
ngayon nga minsan tayo nagi-guilty tayo na kailangan natin magpahinga, gano'n. But we need that. Sabi mo nga
Exactly.
sa'kin, kaya pa ng katawang Diyosa, pero hindi na kaya ng
Yeah.
katawang lupa,
Katawang
parang
lupa,
gano'n,
exactly.
oo.
So, yung mga katawang Diyosa niyo, alam kong kaya pa, pero yung katawang lupa, hindi kaya maka-keep up, so okey lang, okey. May katawang Diyosa ka pa rin naman, eh, okey lang.
So, yun. So, gano'n. Kaya
Yeah, that reminds me of a really good analogy, yung naalala ko, eh, parang, this changed the way of also how I saw productivity. Usually, right, when I try to make people imagine productivity as a graph, I mean, yeah, nerd nga, di ba? So, imagine graph siya. Okay, for me, productivity looks like a graph na pataas, right? Linear pataas, exponential growth, etc. Um, dapat ganon. Yun ang pag-iisip natin. Like, maybe you don't realize it, but maybe that's how you view productivity na
Hmm.
palaki ng palaki ng palaki ng palaki, palaki until like infinity or something like that. And then I realized productivity is more like a wave, right? A wave na parang, I don't know, baka beach the beach na ako, kaya naalala ko to. Pero di ba, ang waves, the sea, like it has high tides, it has low tides. And just like that, like just like the sea, your productivity is also a wave. Minsan may
Mm.
highs, minsan may lows. And that is not weird. It is normal. May cycle talaga of like hustle,
Mm.
rest. And burnout does not happen because tinatry natin i-push yung sarili natin to just push, 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 push. But rather, when we try na naka-high tide ka, even though time na mag-low tide, pinipilit mo i-high tide pa rin siya, right? That
Yes.
is when burnout happens. When pinipilit mo, when yung katawang tao mo, ayaw na, di ba? Like, gusto mo na magpahinga, tapos pinipilit mo na hindi, kaya pa. So, allow yourself to rest. Part yun ng productivity. Rest is part of productivity. It's not a reward. That's what I want to say rin. Rest is not a reward for working hard.
Yeah.
Rest helps you work hard. Hindi siya reward, ha? Hindi siya like, magpapahinga ako kasi ang dami kong ginawa. And what if hindi ka, parang, so what if konti lang nagawa mo, di mo deserve mag-rest? Diba? Parang that's not true. So,
Totoo. Yan. Again, maging mabait na nga sa sarili natin.
exactly.
So, yun.
Please.
And thank you. And then, ito number 6 is rediscover your purpose for completing the task. So, yun. I think ito yung importante talaga na we need to know yung purpose. Ba't ba natin ginagawa yung task? And kung halimbawa minsan parang, yun nga, inaano mo minsan, di ba? Ba't ko nga ba ito ginagawa? Nakakahiya,
Exactly.
napapagod ka na.
Right.
But remembering yung purpose will give you parang energy din to accomplish it. Yun.
Right. So, yeah, let's talk about purpose again. So na-mention ko, that's actually the reason why gusto kong unahin, like, the moment that I talk to you, usually what I ask is like, okay, why do you want to be more productive? And so they
Mm-mm.
say something like, syempre, business, I want to do more, earn more. And so I just keep asking them like, okay, so let's say, kaya ako tinanong kanina, let's say you have all the money in the world, anong gagawin mo, right? Because, again, productivity is a tool, hindi siya end goal. It's weird, di ba? Like, you can be the most productive person on earth, pero if walang purpose yung pagiging productive mo, then like,
Yeah.
was it really worth it? Because productivity is the vehicle that will get you from point A to point B, pero hindi siya yung reward na you can't just be productive for productivity's sake. I
Yeah.
guess unless you're like, productivity coach ka rin na kailangan mong mag-aral ng productivity techniques all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah,
Yes.
it's like you have to know, like, okay, if nothing else, that if konti lang yung maalala niyo sa talk na to, I want you to realize na parang, if all else fails, just stick to your purpose. Just stick to like,
Oh.
why are you doing this? Like, in the sea, kung nalulunod ka na, I have so many to-do lists. It's like, may umabot time, hell week ko sa college. And it's like, I had like 50 things to do just because I
Mm.
thought I needed to do them right now. And then I realized na parang, kailangan ko ba talaga to gawin? Or did someone else just tell me I had to do it without really thinking if I had to do it personally, right? Parang, I invite you to reflect on that. Like, what are the things that you're doing just because other people told you to do it? And then
Mm.
examine that. Do you really need to? Kailangan bang super duper duper linis ng bahay? Kailangan bang naka-makeup ka kapag nagpapakita sa camera?
Tama.
For me it's like a no. Like, I don't care. Like, before talaga, like, ma-makeup ako because, self-esteem issues and stuff like that. It really took a
Yeah.
lot for me to be like, you know what, I don't care. Like, women need to see more women like not caring about what they look, so that we need to stop like caring so much and being super self-conscious. So like, for me, it's like, if
Yeah.
if if people speak bad of me kasi di ako nag-makeup, edi sorry. Parang, then you're not my people. You're not my people, and it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. Alam mo
Yes.
yun? So,
Yes. Yes.
and wala pa naman
Totoo.
akong hater. Wala pa naman. So
Yes.
like, okay.
Yes. Totoo yan.
So
Kasi
yeah,
minsan, ang hirap nun eh, parang kaya ginagawa mo lang yung ginagawa mo ngayon because other people told you so.
nakasanayan. Exactly,
Yeah.
sinabi.
Sinabi.
Dinictate.
And yeah, para to be acceptable.
Kababae mong tao, dapat ganito ka. Kababae mong tao, dapat ganito yung itsura mo. And I was like,
Oo.
well, wala akong pakialam kung ano sa tingin mo, ano dapat ako. It's just, I know,
Yeah.
this, which is why it's so important. Like, I know what I have to do, right? I know my purpose. I know why I'm doing these things. And so, I don't care what you say otherwise, because your opinion, while I respect it and I appreciate you for sharing that, is not
Mm.
my identity. Because I know my identity. So,
Yan, yes. So, yan din sa mga mommies, 'di ba? Kahit hindi mommy. Pero dahil Mother's Day, sige, yan na rin natin.
there's so many things people are telling, like, pag
Yeah.
breastfeed ka in public, pag hindi ka mag-breastfeed in public, kapag hindi ka nag-breastfeed, all these
Oo.
things, right? All these
Yes.
expectations, like, dapat pinapalo mo anak mo, dapat hindi mo pinapalo anak mo, dapat hinahumusga mo, dapat, there's so many choices, right? And it's like, you know
Yes.
what? Might as well do what you feel is right, kasi kahit ano naman gawin mo, parang may mag-judge sa'yo. So,
Tama, tama.
lampak eh. Lampak eh.
Oo. So, yun nga, parang masyado kasi madami sinasabi sa society, 'di ba? Naapektuhan
Exactly.
tayo minsan. So, but then, if you know your purpose, alam mo naman kilala mo yung sarili mo, hindi mo kailangan maapektuhan dun para hindi ka ma-burn out, 'di ba? And then, you keep
Right.
on doing things na hindi naman kailangan just to please them, 'di ba? Like, yun nga, parang pipilitin mo bang maligo kasi because you have a Zoom call? Eh, paano kung hindi na? Hindi na kaya maligo, parang
Di
gano'n.
ka naman may maamoy.
Maamoy, so mag-ayos ka na lang. Pero guys, naligo naman ako ngayon,
Ako rin, guys, naligo din ako.
Oo. So, yun lang naman yun. So, yun yung ibig sabihin nun. So, you don't need to force to do things para lang i-please yung ibang tao. Diba?
Right.
Again, balik tayo dun sa purpose and tanungin mo ulit, kailangan ko bang gawin yan? Diba?
Mhm.
I think yun yung word ko for today. Kailangan ko bang gawin yan?
Exactly.
Yan talaga. And of course,
Is
ito.
it, yeah,
Ay, yes,
yeah.
go.
Is it aligned with your personal inner compass? Or
Ayan.
are there other things affecting your direction, right? Parang may
Mm-mm.
nag-interfere ba? Kasi parang, just because you have a compass doesn't mean you know the exact route. It's not like may ways ka to your life's purpose, na
Mm-mm.
sinasabi sa'yo ng universe, take. Hindi eh. But if you know, at least for this season, right? Parang,
Mm.
ito gusto ko. At least for now, right? It can change. It's okay. Ito yung gagawin ko. Edi, it doesn't matter how many roadblocks you get to, you could always correct yourself, right? Hanap
Yes.
ng bagong route.
Yan. And of course, ayan, last natin, ito pinaka-importante talaga to na kahit na sobrang gano'n nating ka-busy and ka-pressure, we need this. Get
Yes.
a good night's sleep. Like, yun nga, sabi nila, minsan, tulog ka pa ba? Paano mo gagawin? Nakatutulog ka pa ba? Well, still, nakakatulog pa rin naman ako. And, sleep is very important kasi sabi nga nila, kapag wala kang magandang tulog, hindi ka makaka-work, hindi maging productive talaga, 'di ba?
Yes.
So, ayan. Paano
And
ba
may
matulog?
chika
Siguro,
ako.
paano matulog?
So may chika pa ako dyan, di ba? When we stay up all night, the thing that we like to call all-nighter, when we pull an all-nighter, ang effect yan sa utak natin lasts for 3 days. And you know the
Oh,
effect? It's like working while you're drunk. Ganun siya kalala. So, this is why I always say rest is not reward. It's not, like, sleep is not for the weak, okay? Sleep is for productive people. Nalala ko parang sobrang uso sa amin, sleep is for the weak. Tapos nagko-copy ko 78 kami hanggang mag-palpitate kami para lang
grabe.
tapusin. Alam mo yon?
Oo,
That was so toxic. Grabe, realizing all of that na parang,
oo.
no, like the best you are the most productive when you're happy, healthy,
Mm,
well-rested. Alam mo yon,
mm,
you do your best pag masaya ka. Promise. And
tama.
yeah, a lot of that has to do with sleep. And as in, it's like the number one thing talaga. Not just for productivity, pati yung mental health mo, physical health mo. It even has correlations with like weight gain. So
Oo.
parang, please sleep. And let's talk about sleep for a second. Okay, how do you sleep? Like, how much sleep they need to have? Again, it would depend per person. Pero, like, the way I gauge it for my clients, for my coaches, is like, okay, when I ask them, if you wake up naman without an alarm, naturally, that's good. Tas hindi ka naman yung groggy, yung feeling,
Mm,
that means you're
mm.
well rested. So if hindi mo pa alam how many hours of sleep that you get, then just try it out. Like, let's say for the next 3 days, be more aware. Like, gaano ka katagal natutulog. Then that is your natural rhythm. So it's
Mm.
usually 6 to 8 hours, right?
Wow. Wow, sana all
Six
may
to
6 to
eight.
8 hours. Sleep.
6 talaga yung minimum. So okay.
Okay.
So parang usually, so now that we know, I think alam naman natin lahat na importante yung sleep. But the reason why we don't sleep, why? Kasi busy tayo. A lot of times, yun nga, there's a lot of roles to fulfill. So maybe we could go into that, right? Like parang, okay, how do I, or parang, again, that scenario na parang, natutulog ka pa ba? Lahat na lang nirakit mo ah. Paano mo ginagawa? That is, yeah, my friends in college, they always say, dami mo naman time. Or like, natulog ka pa ba?
Mm.
Um, so how do you manage all of that? So let me give some context. Actually, right now, I have like 4 or 5 rackets. Or,
Mm.
yeah, not like parang, so let's enumerate them just to give context ha, para alam nyo ako na ako nanggagaling. So I am a productivity coach, and I'm also a Notion consultant. I don't know if you know that app, but it's a
Yeah.
productivity app that
Yes.
I love. So I'm a consultant for that. So, and then I'm also a part-time project. So yung dalawang yun yung main ko talaga. And then
Mm.
I'm also a part-time project manager.
Mm.
So part-time as in 20 hours per week. Just sa main hustle ko, I try to at least give 20 hours a week as well. And so yon, okay? And then the other one is, I'm also a content writer. Okay? So, and then so apat na yon. And then may mga ibang project-based stuff na parang, yes, it's connected to like my productivity, but also not really. So parang maybe trainings or like training companies and other businesses how to do things. And yeah, eventually I want to go into the whole like maybe drop shipping. Like there's a lot that I want to do basically. At the same time, gusto ko marami akong free time to do what I want. So how do I personally, this is how I personally do this, right? Number one, is the power of leverage. Leverage, okay? What do we mean by leverage? It comes from the word lever, which is nerd mode na naman tayo. Pasensya na. Welcome to this lecture. Joke. No, so it's a lever is something na when you push down on it, yung ine-exert mo na lakas sa kanya, multiply let's say 10 times than your initial effort sa kanya. So, when we say leverage, it means looking for things that give you like, let's say yung input mo 1,000, tapos ibibigay sa'yo 10,000, di ba? That is leverage. So, that means, ina-align ko yung activities ko into things na magbibigay sa akin ng mataas na leverage. What are these things? Number one, mataas na sweldo, or mataas na contract. That's like the number one thing, right? So, what that means is, being able to earn more means I don't have to work as much but still earn a lot. That's number one. And then number two, I also work on things na madali para sa akin that will take me like, I don't know, 30 minutes to do compared to someone else who will probably take like 3 hours, right? So this happened to me dati, sobrang bagal ko magsulat, right? Sobrang bagal. Like, 1 article per week ako. Tapos parang 3 days, in-overthink ko lang lahat. Like 3 days talaga. Tapos parang 4 days mag-research ako. Tapos wala, I just try to make a plan. Tapos wala akong tiwala sa sarili ko nun eh. So like, I'm just scared. And then I just cram everything in like 3 hours. So that's a lot of time na I believe I could have managed. Di pala na ma-manage yung time. But a lot of energy na na-waste, right? So what happened was, I worked on my skills so that bumilis ako. And so now, yung 3 hours ko, nagagawa ko ng 30 minutes. That does not happen overnight. Pero it was a conscious choice for me na parang, if I want to be able to do the things that I do, I need to focus on the things that will give me the best result. So this is also something you can do when you're prioritizing, right? So that means, even though yung so isang side hustle ko na content writing, even though they give me, kasi sometimes they give me like 1 a week, sometimes 2, pero ang aim ko palagi is like, okay, I'll finish, of course I'll do my best. Di naman pwede yung basta-basta lang. So yung 3 hours ko before nagiging 30 minutes na lang. So that's like, ano mo yun? That's an extra few hundred pesos in 30 minutes. So parang that kind of thinking compounds kasi. So yeah, that is my suggestion.
Ayan. So guys, ganun, alam ko lahat tayo sobrang busy natin, dami nating ginagawa, and minsan nakala natin 2 oras, 3 oras, okay na yun, basta makapikit, power nap na eh. Parang di na tayo talaga yung nakakatulog na maayos, but we call it power nap. 'Di ba? So, wag natin, din, and I really believe na malaking epekto nito sa health din. Wow, 'di ba, makapagsalita, kala mo 6 to 8 hours din yung tulog eh. Though, but yung na-realize ko din that if maganda talaga yung sleep, alam mo, the next day, energetic ka, mas marami ka nagagawa talaga. Yung, mas nakakapag-isip ka kasi di ba minsan pag hindi tayo nakakatulog, ang init, yung alam mo yun, ang init ng ulo natin, parang ganun. Ganun yung epekto sa akin. Ewan ko, hindi lang paggutom. Pagkulang din sa tulog, parang hindi ka makapag-decide, yung parang sabaw na sabaw ka. Nangyari sa akin yun, minsan yung customer namin, parang ang ino-order pala pagkain, tapos tinanong ko, anong size po? What? Yung salted egg chips yung ino-order niya, tinanong ko siya, anong size? Parang, yun. So, 'di ba? Parang lutang na lutang. So, yun. And, bali yun. So, that's our 7, actually. 7 things that we need to remember on, how we can manage working under pressure. So guys, do you have any questions kay Celz? Yan. So kanina sabi ni RG, rest is not a reward for working hard. Rest helps you work hard. Ganda nun. So yan, yan yung takeaway niya.
Welcome.
Yes. So yun. Ayun guys, if you have any questions, ano yun si Celz. And nabanggit niya kanina yung Notion, no? So, ayan. I think si Coach Darwin, ilagi niya yan inaano sa amin, pero minsan inutokso na siya. Grabe sa pagka-organize, paggamit ng Notion. Parang yan, tinuturuan niya kami na, pero hindi ko pa siya ma-apply sa sarili ko.
Yeah, I got him into it. So sorry. Pinudol ko siya. Tapos siya nabubudol sa inyo.
Oo nga. Kaya yun. So, guys, I think I cannot see any question as of the moment, but let me just share this with you. Ako na mag-share in behalf of Celz. Ito kasi yung website niya. Yan. So, for the
Oh my gosh, nakikita yung website ko. I
Yan.
was not informed.
Yeah, but if you want to know more about Celz and yan, yung about her productivity coaching and Notion consultation, you can just visit this site. So mabilis na lang kasi para
Yeah.
Ayan, you can
May
visit this.
Facebook page rin po ako. So,
Ayan. So, you can visit his Facebook page then. And I'm not sure if meron tayong mga nanonood ngayon that enrolled sa skills. Celz is also in skills.
yes.
So, yan. So, yan, Celz. Siguro before we end this, do you have any last message or any tips pa? Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, I would, I think sobrang dami ko ng tips. But this is, I would like to pray for everyone listening here.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, guys,
So,
let's pray, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would love to pray for you guys. So, Father God, thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to be your instrument, Father God. And bawal ako umiyak. Lord, naka-live ako, please. No, I just want to pray for I'm praying for a specific set of people today. People who are tired, right? So if that's you, this is for you. And when I mean tired, I mean ubos na. As in, ubos na talaga. I want to pray for you that God will refresh you, not just for this coming week, but really help you discover what it is that is draining your joy. Because that is not, I want you to know that's not from God. And I want you to know that that is not your destiny. And I want you to know that you just need to ask and tatanggalin yun. It may not happen as fast as you want it to, pero I believe na if you have faith, like God wants to give you that. He also wants to give you rest and a new identity. Like he wants to reinforce that you are a daughter of God, that you are a son of God, and yeah, you do not have to listen to voices na hindi galing sa kanya. And so you have to allow yourself to, trust him and trust yourself and trust who you are in him. And I really pray, I pray that you will be productive, not just, productive period, but purposefully productive talaga. Yung hindi aimless na just so magawa ko tong tasks, but really to flourish and to have all these blessings so that you could be a blessing to others. I pray that you have the energy to take care of your sons, daughters, your family, so that they won't grow up wondering nasan si mama or nasan si papa, or sana, I don't want you guys to regret, I don't know, 10 years from now, na teenager na anak mo. You won't get this time back. And so I pray that you really, treasure this time, kasi this is a really special time, and I don't want you to be distracted by things na hindi naman talaga kailangan. So that is my prayer for you today, and I hope that really receive that. And yeah, Lord, to end this prayer, I pray for all the mothers. It's Mother's Day. I pray that you bless them, that they have rest tomorrow, lots of rest tomorrow, and just really sana spoil sila ng pamilya nila. Sana, alam mo yun, may bed and breakfast sila kasi they deserve it. If you're a single mother, know that God loves you and alam mo yun, He will provide for you. And
Yes,
it's hard.
amen.
It is. But I want to pray that for you to bless you today. Especially, yeah, parang you are doing a good job. Whoever needs to hear that, I want you to know that you're doing a good job. Even if you feel like you're not. Even if hindi mo alam kung ano ginagawa mo. Just keep going. Um, the world may not see it, but God does. So, yeah, in Jesus' name we
Yes.
pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Celz. Thank you for praying for the community. Thank you for sharing all the tips. And because we really need that. Really, and marami kaming natutunan today. Ako din, personally. And yan, ma-apply ko talaga yan. Very important talaga yan sa, lalo na sa mundo na ginagalawan namin, which is the e-commerce world, that we need to take it easy. There's ways for us to manage our energy talaga and prioritize and know the purpose talaga of all the things that we do. And thank you for reminding that those things sa amin today. Ayan.
Thank you for having
So,
me.
yeah, thank you so much then for saying yes for today. Yan. So, ayun. So, see you again soon. Ayan. And
Sige.
guys, if you
Thank you
need
po.
sales help, if you want to have coaching, you can just message her. Pinakita ko na yung website niya kanina, and you can just connect with her Facebook account, diba? Or page. Meron ba? So, yan.
Yes. Yeah.
Ayan. Okay, thank you
Search nyo lang to
so.
sa name ko. So, yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sas.
So,
Thank you. God
bye.
bless you and ingat lagi. Okay, bye. Yan. Ayun, so grabe. Ayan, so this session is really for moms, diba? Or sa ating lahat naman na humahataw, nag-grind araw-araw, that we need to be reminded that we need to be kind to ourselves, diba? We need rest and we need to take it easy, diba? So, ang ganda ng topic natin today. And just before we end, I know na pinag-pray na tayo ni Celz, but of course, hindi naman matatapos yung session natin without me sharing you our word for today. And our word for today is ito, be happy. It's okay to take a break from the world and sometimes you just need it. Diba? Totoo naman yan. Diba? Ilang beses na ito pinaulit-ulit ni Celz that it's okay to take a break, be happy. If ang nagpapasaya sa'yo is simple lang naman kumain talaga. Pagkain talaga, takaw lang no? Pero sabi ko talaga, every time na meron akong busy week or maggagawing mabigat, sabi ko talaga, pagkatapos nitong project na to, kain ako ng masarap. And it's okay. Kasi kailangan ko yun. Kasi yun yung nagpapasaya sa akin. And to be reminded that I deserve to be rewarded for all the hard work na ginawa ko ng mga nakaraang araw. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to take a break, 'di ba? And sabi nga din sa Bible, Matthew 11:28, 'di ba? Come to me all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Even God said, pwede tayo magpahinga. Anything na nahihirapan tayo ngayon, we can just lift it up to Him, and He will help us get through it. And He will give us rest. Because si Lord naman, kaya nga sinabi niya, kahit naman siya, di ba, nung ginagawa niya yung earth, yung mundo, on the seventh day, He rested. Because we need rest. And He want us to be happy and to experience rest. And with that, we just need to lift everything to Him. Lalo na pag nahihirapan tayo. Kasi hindi naman talaga natin makokontrol yung mga bagay-bagay eh. But He can. 'Di ba? So, pag hindi na kaya, surrender na. Wag mo na ipilit. Wag mo na ipilit na gagawin mo pa, 'di ba? Just surrender things that you cannot control. Like, I remember one of our students last night, she's very worried about the stocks na hindi dumating. Then we prayed. We prayed last night. Sabi namin sa kanya, wag ka na masyado mag-worry. Let's just focus on the solutions. And pahinga ka na. Kasi sabi niya, hindi siya makatulog. Hindi daw siya makatulog. Hindi na productive and all. Sabi ko, pahinga ka. Pag-pray natin yan. And you know what? Sobrang bilis. Today, she said, dumating na yung stocks. Akala namin naipit sa customs, pero actually, yun nga, masyado lang siya nag-worry kasi it took longer time for her to receive it. But, yeah, ganun. So, we just need to take a break. Hinga lang tayo. Surrender it to God. Diba? Masasagot talaga. And one thing pa na sobrang good news is yun. God has a message agad sa kanya, yung isang item niya, so nakasali ng flash sale, and it's na-sold out. Diba? Ang galing. So, ganon magbigay na mensahe si Lord sa atin na, bigay mo yan sa akin, I will give you rest. Diba? So, yun. Sa mga sobrang workaholic, sobrang too hard sa sarili na, hindi, kailangan ko to gawin kasi meron akong quota, may gusto akong bilhin, may ganito. Always remember that you need to be kind to yourself. Diba? You need rest. So, sabi nga ni Celz, kaya pa ng katawang Diyosa natin, pero yung katawang lupa natin, bumibigay na. So, ayaw naman natin ng gano'n. Ayaw natin ng haggard and magkakasakit tayo, lalo na ngayon, na bawal magkasakit. Okay? So, guys, yun lang. And, of course, and since it's Mother's Day, I want to greet all mommies in all forms, diba? Nanay, mamita, kung ano man tawag sa'yo, inay, and all. I really want to greet you a happy Mother's Day. So, lahat naman pwede maging nanay, 'di ba? So, yan. Happy Mother's Day sa inyong lahat. And sa lahat ng mga anak dito, 'di ba? Syempre, alam ko it's still not possible for us to gather, but just send a message to your moms telling them how much you love them and how thankful and grateful you are, 'di ba? I think that's enough naman. Because we really don't know. Etong pandemic na to, inano sa atin na everything is uncertain. So, ayan. So, kaya greet your moms, tell them how much you love them, how thankful you are. So, guys, sa lahat ng mommies, sa mga mommies nyo po, Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. And saludo po ako sa lahat ng nanay. Ayan. And bago tayo mag-end, may pahabol na question si Alfred. Yung blueprint po ba ng SFE, lifetime access na po ba yung... yes, it's a lifetime access po yung SFE blueprint, dropshipping blueprint. Lifetime access po yun. Ayan. So, may pahabol pa siya ng question. So, yan. So, guys, thank you so much sa lahat na nanood ngayon. We still have 20 people hanging and watching. So, thank you, guys. And see you again next Saturday. Take a rest. Take a rest ngayong week na to. Okay? God bless everyone and happy Sunday. To God be all the glory. Bye!